What's up, fam, and welcome back to Recap Kickback. It's me, your host, Chappell, and I am back again to take you through another episode of Recap Kickback, where we talk about Black entertainment news and we recap our favorite television and movies and all the stuff that we like to go into here on Recap Kickback. And by me, I mean me and my lovely co-host here, Mari Forth. Mari, welcome back.
We are back. We are black, and there is a lot of news.
Yeah, good times black again.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. Yes, there's a lot of black news this week. We had talked about last week. We had a very fun episode where we talked about Beauty in Black
Yes,
on
very
Netflix. We
fun.
talked about the first two episodes. Mari and I had a blast talking about it. And so we were like, we probably need to talk about the whole series once we get a certain special guest with purple pants to come on and join us. But we're going to put that on the back burner for just a little bit because we got a lot of black entertainment news this week. I will say this though, Mari, we did get some comments of the last podcast. And V Shorty said, I haven't laughed this hard. I watched episodes 1 through 4 about 2 weeks ago, and now I got to go finish it. Yes, go finish Beauty in Black and then come back and join us here. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you keep up with all of our recaps and all our black entertainment news. We got a lot coming your way. Spooky season is over, so make sure you are subscribed, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up on the YouTube video if you're watching it on YouTube, youtube.com/@recapkickback, and that'll keep you abreast of everything that we have going on. But today we got to get into the news. Mari,
yes,
I don't know what happened, but the first time we say we'll keep the black entertainment news short, black stuff just started popping up out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, okay, we doing this? So we got a lot to discuss.
All over the place. I was like, okay, yeah, next week we'll just talk Beauty in Black. It'll be all good. Because we'll have 6 more additional episodes to talk about. So we'll just jump right in. Nope. All hell just decided to kind of like break loose, like right around Halloween. Like, what happened? Like, what?
It was a lot. I mean, let's get into one of the bigger headlines. How about that? So one of the things we have been flagging up lately is that we saw this coming. It was on our to-do list. We got to watch it because we are supporters here of the hotties. And it happened. Mari, Meg Thee Stallion's documentary has dropped, and I believe you've watched it all.
Oh yeah, I watched it. Meg Thee Stallion, in her words, it was like an hour. It was like a little over an hour and a half, I believe, almost 2 hours, maybe. Documentary on Amazon Prime. And baby, when I told you I watched that documentary, I was sobbing with
Oh
Meg Thee
no.
Stallion. It was so good though. Like it was literally Megan talking about what happened to her. Like, I don't know, like when they decided to make this documentary, but it did start. They did have footage, like they had all this behind the scenes footage of her going back to 2016. So like it's very interesting because, of course, if you don't know, my other podcast is the Crime Scene Podcast, where we break down documentaries and docuseries, like true crime documentaries and docuseries. So whenever I watch, whenever I watch,
just for you.
Yes, whenever I watch documentaries and stuff now, I'm always looking at the production side of it. And so this one I thought was really good because, like I said, they had footage of her going back to 2016 and following her up until like this year, last year, or throughout the trial, all of that, interspersed with her like as a talking head, like clearly present day Meg talking about what happened, over. And the whole time I was like, it didn't seem like a documentary where they're like, hey, we're going to make a documentary of this time. It didn't seem like that to me. It seemed like she had a lot of cameras around her at certain periods. So like in 2016, 2018, when we're first starting to talk about her first popping off, they have cameras behind the scenes of her video with Moneybagg Yo and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so it's like, what I realized, but I'm not too sure because I didn't get to look into the technical side of it, but it looked like they kind of gathered all this footage from the past few years that they had. And then what they didn't have, they use really dope animation in between. Chappelle, you've been on Crime Scene a few times where we've had
I have.
documentaries with animation. This was just so apropos because we know that Meg Thee Stallion is an anime fan.
Is an
So
anime girly, yeah.
yeah, so the animation was very anime-esque, and that kind of filled in the gaps for stuff we didn't have, and it was just so good. Like, the documentary itself was produced so well, and it gave me, as a person who's been following her for a long time and who just knows, like, a lot of the like, if you just know a lot of the headline stuff, it
Mhm.
really makes you feel like, "Oh, I'm watching what happened behind the scenes." Because we
Mhm.
would get her reaction, like, after she did the Gayle King interview, and we would just see her scrolling on her phone, her reaction to seeing everybody react to the Gayle King interview, which is not great. And then on top of that, they also called, like, people out there posting, social media posts. Ooh, okay, I gotta cuss some people out. I'm sorry, this is very long, but
Do you think?
anyways, yeah, thank you. So, you're really seeing her like firsthand reactions to some of the stuff that she was seeing, and it was like what really stuck to me, and one of the parts I was like really like kind of choking up on was, I remember when Meg did SNL, just like 2 years, like right before the trial. So it was in 2022, I
Mhm.
believe. Yeah, she had just did SNL, and she was on SNL, and I watched that SNL. It was a really good one. And she was performing Anxiety, and she started choking up thinking about her mom. And I
Mhm.
remember that performance made me go back and revisit Traumazine, because of course I had downloaded it when it came out. I'm pretty sure I did like one run through of it, streamed it once to support and stuff like that. But when it came out, I just was not in the headspace with music. And so when I saw the SNL performance, and like it was just such a good heartbreaking performance, I went back and I was like, damn. And Traumazine has literally been on rotation for me, like, since then, like at least once a week. Like, and it just reminded me of how much I supported her as a person first, and
Mhm.
then how the music followed. But I say all that to say it is a great documentary. It talks about like a lot of the important stuff with her life. I I do have to say I wasn't there at the very beginning. I really got on the Meg train like 2018, 2019.
Okay.
So like right before the shooting and all that stuff. And I remember when I came on, they were like, "Oh yeah, her mom died." I was like, "Oh man, that's tragic."
Mhm.
I I didn't know her mom had just died. Like I had,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't realize like how fresh her mother's death was. Like, and how horrible it is about like her mom dies, and then basically immediately her her song, I think is Big Old Freak, they
Big old freak.
takes off.
Big bitty big old
Yes.
treat. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes off. And then she's just like, now she is thrust into stardom with her number one supporter, her mom, who was her manager, is gone. Like
Mhm.
that part was crazy. So I loved everything that they included. I loved everything that they didn't include. Party, bye, see ya.
We don't need
Didn't
it.
need to talk about you.
Not
Didn't need to
important.
get we didn't need to talk about Granny. We didn't need to talk about her. We didn't need to they gonna go.
Whoever she is. Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting. They didn't really talk about any of her relationships, and they just focused on like the case and all of that, and her going through her mental issues and all of that. It was so good. It was really good.
Yeah.
And now here
I
comes the portion where I have to cuss some people out. I'm sorry,
go
Chappelle.
again, do your thing.
They played, so like each time something would happen, you know what I'm saying? Like the Gayle King
Mhm.
interview, her, no, her initially getting shot, Tory coming out, his first time when he first came out and said some stuff, and she was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?"
Mhm.
Like each time something like that happened, they showed like the clips of people talking reckless. Looking at you, Joe Budden, you dumbass. Like fucking academics, fuck you too. Like, and even once once it got close, Fresh and Fit, fuck them too. Sorry, that like all of the red pill dummies. I hate y'all. I don't care. Whatever. Um, and so and so like and then they got to the part where like once Tory was on trial, then some celebrities started to pipe up. Dummies like the baby who where are you, sir? Where are you at now?
I saw an article recently
Yeah.
that said the baby's ready to reconcile with Meg, and I'm like, I bet
The
because
baby can go kick some fucking rocks.
listen,
That's what he can go and do.
the baby and Meg made good music together. I bet he wish he had burnt that bridge because I haven't been hearing a lot from the baby lately.
And that is the crazy. That's another like they go into Kelsey too a lot in this documentary. I mean, like she's there, so it's like I really like between Kelsey and the baby. I'm like, y'all really burnt that bridge for Tory. Y'all thought
Yeah,
Tory could do more for you than what Meg was currently doing. Like I will never understand that.
it might be crack.
Yeah, and so like when Drake said something. But more important, LeBron got his lashes too. I seen that shit, LeBron. Like
Oh,
I seen you didn't see that when
not familiar.
oh yeah when Tory was going through trial, LeBron dropped a video of him playing Tory's music again.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes, and he was like, "Oh, this boy fire, free Tory Lanez and all that stuff." You deserve a whipping, a lashing too,
Whack
LeBron.
him,
You ain't,
whack him
yeah,
again. Yeah,
you ain't immune.
yeah.
Mm,
Listen, Mari clearly has a lot of feelings tied
sorry.
to this, but she's watched it, and listen, it's an extremely emotional conversation to have anyway.
It is.
One thing that's bothered me about this case since day one has always been like, okay, let's follow me, people. Johnny had two apples, like it's not that complicated. There are three people who could have done this. One is Meg. Nobody is saying Meg did this. One is
Right.
Kelsey. Nobody is saying Kelsey did this. One
Well,
is Tory. No, everybody is
yeah,
saying Tory did it. I mean, come on, y'all. Follow me with this one. Meg says Tory shot me. Kelsey said, I don't know who did it. Tory does not say it was Kelsey. He does not initially say that. He says nobody got shot. We find the bullets. People say, oh, she lied, blah, blah, blah. We have the bullets. We have seen the feet. We know
they
this.
showed X-rays.
We know this woman was shot. Kelsey and Tory Lanez didn't even get on the same page and both say, well, it was Megan. She shot herself. At least that would have been a valiant effort. But them fools went in there like, I don't know who did it. It's one of you idiots. And then eventually Kelsey folds. And I think the argument people have been saying against Tory Lanez, like, oh, well, he didn't do it. Just maybe Kelsey shot her. Then Tory Lanez, maybe you should have spoke your dumb ass up and said Kelsey shot me. Shot her. Because people were trying to say, like, oh, he didn't want to be a snitch and all this other stuff. A snitch to Kelsey, a random chick that you don't even know. You just gonna go to jail for anybody who make an accusation about you. Anybody.
Well, apparently they're saying that Tory and Kelsey were dating, and like
Even then, what difference does it make?
exactly. So this documentary really, y'all, it really goes. It shows you her the medical, like her feet, like the X-rays. It shows her like trying to perform after. It shows like what people still to this day stupidly don't realize is like she did not press the charges. California did. Like people like California has strict ass gun laws. They have some of the strictest gun laws in the country. Tory Lanez is not a US citizen who is on probation, who shouldn't have been even near a gun, let alone we're discussing if he shot one off. Like he went to jail mostly for being in the presence of an illegal firearm and possessing a legal firearm. Like he barely got sentenced for the actual shooting. You know what I'm saying? Like
she lied to protect that man. And then
exactly.
she's sitting there like, damn, look at me trying to save this man. And he on the internet playing in my face, trying to make it seem like, all this other stuff is going on. We know yeah.
Sorry,
so it's kind of like he got what he deserved. I'm not gonna go stand here 10 toes down for no Canadian. No disrespect to the Canadian listeners.
That makes
but like
one that's
this man,
5'4".
He don't even go here.
Music.
Right. Y'all think I'm finna really throw this lady under the bus because Tory Lanez, somebody who don't even live here, decided that he gonna pull a gun on her? Like, stop it. Stop playing. So yeah, check out the documentary. Obviously there's a lot in there. You gotta check it out. But again, if you're listening to this and you're like, I think Meg, like, hey, you could go. You know what I'm saying? We don't necessarily need listeners who gonna believe that this woman then came up, fabricated the bullets, fabricated all this stuff, made it up just to victimize a black man from Canada. Like, like Canadian black men have been taking some L's this year, and it's all their fault. I'm just gonna say that right there. I'm not gonna go into that too much
They
further, but
touched
they
on
did it to
his bitch
themselves.
ass too. Yep.
Well, I mean, yeah, she whack him again, whack him for me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, check that out. And yeah, I think that it's cool that it's about Meg because, like I said, she's dope as hell. My biggest fear is that Meg is just gonna leave us and go to Japan and never come back because why would she stay the way people be acting around her?
Good for
Yeah,
her. She
it happens
deserves.
before. Tina Turner left. I think who else
Yeah,
left? It
Tina
was a
Turner,
bunch. Black folks always
Josephine
stay leaving. Yeah,
Baker,
yeah. Josephine Baker definitely left. Yeah.
James Baldwin. We
Like, get the
deserve
hell
to be
out of
left.
here.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta get left behind before you can appreciate something,
Yeah, and also we didn't talk about it, but Act 2 was amazing. That
Oh,
her CD
yes.
Act 2.
Yes.
Oh my god, the remix of Mamushi with Twice on it.
Yeah.
Dog. She got a rock song on there too.
Yes.
Shit's fire.
Yes. Oh yeah. Speaking of music, for the music fans out there, we're gonna have a special guest on Recap Kickback soon. 8 Ball Bangers is gonna be joining us. Isaiah will be joining me to talk about the new Tyler the Creator album, Mari. Now, I know you ain't the biggest Tyler the Creator fan, but I was listening to music the other day, and I listened to a song, and I was like, man, I know Mari would like this song. The problem is, the problem is, there's a certain rapper on this song that I don't think Mari gonna really get with too much, and so I sent Mari a screenshot from Chromacopia. I was like, hey, check this song out. This is the one. And Mari starts texting me like, oh, okay, I hear it.
I was texting you as I was listening to it.
Oof, one sneak, but okay, I'll let it go. And then y'all, I get on Twitter and I see Mari like, this Chromacopia kind of good. I was like, thank you. So check out that Tyler Creator album. Mari, did you listen to the whole thing?
No, I didn't get a chance to listen to the whole thing, but I after I listened to Sticky, which was heat. I did look at what everybody else said, and I listened to what was the other one? Damn it, you tweeted about it. It's evading me right now. Yeah. So I did listen to a few songs, and they're good. I keep forgetting like Tyler the Creator does do good music, but people were bringing it up like Odd Future Tyler had like seared himself into my memory, so that's what I always think of, and I forget that he's definitely like branched away and evolved since then. But
yeah, for sure.
Like we were around, like
Odd we Future were there was
the target, like we were the target, yeah, and right. I was like, I can't get with this, so yeah.
Yeah,
but I remember his BET when he did that BET performance
when he was wearing the wigs. New magic. New magic.
I don't know. The one where he was like rapping and he was getting blown away. Like yeah. Like everything. That one was cool. I remember thinking like, damn, this song is good. Like I never went back to revisit Tyler after all of the like shenanigan music he was originally doing. So
yeah, no, his music is way better and it's than it used to be.
He's one of your faves, right? Yeah.
He has been recently. Like he initially was not. I was not the Odd Future target audience. It just wasn't, that music was not for me. But since Igor, the run that he's had, Igor, Come When You Get Lost, and now this 3 in a row. Hey, I'm all about quality, and he's got some good stuff on there. And so check that out, or at least check out the podcast. Or Isaiah and I are going to review it. Especially Mari, there's an interesting song on there called "I Killed You," and it's track number 6. And if you listen to it at first, you wouldn't know this, but it's about Black folks and their relationship with their hair. So check it out. I guarantee you're gonna be like, oh, that was interesting. Okay. Yeah, and then make sure you check out the podcast when 8 Ball Bangers and I talk about that. Do you want to talk about Sexy Red?
Let's.
Okay, so recently, in the wake of our upcoming presidential election, we have been seeing a lot of tweets and whatnot about different artists, different celebrities that are endorsing their presidential candidate of choice. In the past, Sexy Red was trying to make sexy great again. We saw that a lot. That was her whole little slogan.
Yeah.
Yet
Sexy for
recent,
President is literally her website.
right, sexy for president, which is absurd, but it's still a thing, right? And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? People can have aspirations. But what I was not expecting is for sexy to seemingly change allegiances here, because what I saw, Mara, was Sexy Red has now endorsed Kamala Harris and also has voted for her already. So look at that. Sexy Red on the right side of history. She's trying to win you back over, Mari.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it, sexy?
So her album is called In Sexy We Trust. Like it's so weird, like all of the American iconography that she's used.
Mhm.
And the post that she endorses Kamala in, she has 2 I voted stickers on, like one on each cheek. She's
Mhm.
bent over and she says she says something to the effect of like, I voted for Kamala because they can't tell us what we can do with our coochies. Like,
Real. Is that not real? Listen, a point. She's pro. Look, she said, I'm pro-choice. They can't tell me what to do with my coochie. She's about women having the right to bodily autonomy. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people might need some rules and regulation behind their private parts. Not like a blanket, like no, all women are all men. But Sexy Red, you be making some interesting decisions about what you say about your private parts and what you do with them on music. And it's art. It is art. However, we shouldn't be promoting discharge. I just think that. Like, how about that?
Oh yeah, because her what is it? Her didn't we talk about it? Was it her makeup line? Yeah, her lip gloss. Her lip gloss line.
Yeah.
Yellow
Come on,
discharge.
sexy.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing, sexy? So yeah, looks like the tide is turning on a lot of these naysayers when it comes to our presidential candidate, and that's good to know because it's getting kind of close. This will drop. Normally, we drop these episodes on Thursday, but this will drop prior to the election, so we actually don't know what the outcome is right now.
Right.
But I'm
go vote.
Go vote. Go vote. Go vote for Go vote. Just go vote. You know what I'm saying? Just do that for us. Go vote. If you ain't gonna use your vote, if you like, I wasn't gonna vote at all, but you heard Chappell and Mari talk about it, go vote for us. You know what I'm saying? Just go in and give us your vote. If you're not gonna use it, we'll take it. Okay, just donate it to us. Because, like I said, the celebrities are coming out, the big names are coming out, and Kamala is making some appearances. She popped in on Saturday Night Live, and I think this was relatively like a surprise for most people because I'm pretty sure she was like in North Carolina the same day or Philly. Like she's been all over the place.
That. Yeah. She's making around some campaigning.
Happening. And you haven't seen her on SNL yet?
No, I recorded this episode of SNL, but I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I'll probably watch it after this. But she popped up, and her and Maya Rudolph. I saw they did some TikToks together too. So I mean, she's making an effort to meet people where they are. That's what I kind of love about Kamala. She was on a whole bunch of like different podcasts too, like legit. I mean, that's where people are. She was on the Shade Room. I think she was interviewed by the Shade Room at one point.
Listen, she's doing everything. She could come talk to us too. Maybe we'll get her after she becomes the president. How about that?
Right.
Yeah. I watched her opening monologue, Maya Rudolph's opening monologue, where Kamala does come out and they kind of do a mirror situation, right? Because obviously Maya Rudolph has now, like, she was already a legendary comedian, but like this is like her star-making role. Like Kamala is like the role she was born to play.
SNL always eats during election years, like Tina Fey and Sarah Palin.
Right.
It really, what's her name? Kate McKenna and her Hillary.
Yes.
It's just always so good.
Yeah, and also I think her Elizabeth Warren. I think she did both. Anyway,
did she regardless, do both?
Yeah, I think she did both. But it was good. But people have been flagging up on the internet that if you're paying attention, it kind of looks like Maya Rudolph starts to tear up a little bit. You know, I think it started the gravity of the situation is starting to set in.
Yeah.
That this skit could be the last thing that you said to the vice president before she becomes the first African American woman to be the president of the United States, the first woman to be the president of the United States. We're looking at unprecedented times potentially here. And so if you haven't checked it out, please check out Maya Rudolph and Kamala on SNL because it was great.
Did you see Mariah Carey and Kerry Washington?
No, what did they do? Because
that was
Mariah,
hilarious.
What?
Mariah was about to. She was like, "It's she's about to do it's time," and she was just about to do it. And Kerry Washington said, "Hey, sis, hold up. We know it's about to be Christmas, but we have an election, and can we get to the election first, and then we do Christmas?" And Mariah was like, "Oh yeah, everybody go out and vote. Go out and vote for Kamala." I was like,
somebody
Kerry
needed
Washington
to say it.
been hitting these trails, yo.
Yeah. I've been watching her and Fitzgerald Grant III.
Playing our faces.
Stop playing. It's the way they dangle it in front of us. You know, it's like, bro, we know what y'all doing. Y'all ain't slick, and y'all think y'all cute. Yeah, y'all think y'all cute. It ain't cute. It ain't cute. We see what y'all doing. I'm glad somebody spoke up and shut Mariah Carey down because Halloween wasn't even over yet. It was midnight, the stroke of midnight on the East Coast when they dropped that video.
I said, thawed her out.
It's not time. Can you thaw her out after Thanksgiving? Like, dang, you got to thaw. They thaw her out in damn near September now. Like, geez.
They do.
Yeah, it's too early. She'd be like, it's coming. Like, Mariah, we got this. But listen, Mariah, get your money because every year, all I want for Christmas is you is skyrocket into the chart, up the charts, and keep them checks going. You know, that's a songwriter. Think of the last classic Christmas song that you've ever heard, and why was it this song? Like the most recent Christmas song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just like a classic, like White Christmas, you know, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. This is after all of that, and it's still cooking. Yeah. Love that for her. Love that for us too. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have plenty of Christmas related content here on Recap Kickback as well. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. What else do we have going on? I want to talk about Marvel because last week I made a point of being like, hey, y'all play too much because y'all keep telling us that Blade is coming. And quite frankly, I'm not dumb. It ain't coming. Y'all playing in our face. It's starting to make me mad. Honestly, I'm getting upset. The Blade movie has been shelved for however long, but we have been getting teaser trailers for upcoming films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, including Ironheart and Wonder Man.
Yes. Wonder Man.
Yes. And so Yaya and Dominique Thorne here are going to be playing our titular Ironhearts and Wonder Man. And you know, we've seen Riri Williams in the past Wakanda movie, Wakanda Forever. Yes, and she was a big part of that. A breakout star. If you're not familiar with her, I won't spoil the movie or her role, but she's like a little black girl with the intelligence and like the skill of Tony Stark when it comes to building these things, right? Like I think she's like the second or third person, the smartest person in the Marvel universe, like statistically or something like that. So we got some black girl magic coming your way, and then Yaya playing Wonder Man is also a choice because we know how folks get when you start switching up the playing with the race of these characters. And Wonder Man is not historically a black character, but I don't care because one, don't nobody talk about Wonder Man anyway. So
didn't know who that was.
Right. So put him on the map. Yeah. Put him on the map as far as I'm concerned.
James showed me these trailers and he was like, it's Wonder Man. I was like, who the fuck is Wonder Man?
It don't matter.
He explained it and I still don't.
Yeah. Look, the trailers are out, or at least the teaser is out for at least one of these. I think for both of them. The teaser trailers are about for both of them. So check them out. We do got some good black movies, or at least black characters, or soon to be black characters in the case of Wonder Man, coming soon to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm very excited about that because I will not let it go that they are playing about Blade. It just doesn't make any sense for you to do this. Yeah. Mari, I want to highlight something that it's special to us here on the Recap Kickback family here. Remember the Westeros Kickback, Mari?
Yeah, they do.
Yes. And so I was looking into this award show. I've never heard about it. I think it's called the is it the Power Line? Power List. Power List
Oh.
Celebration of Black Excellence. Steve Toussaint here as our Corliss Valerian has won the Entertainer Award at the 2024 Power
Oh,
List Celebration. So we have to give him a shout out here
yay.
because if everybody gonna show love to Corliss, it's definitely us.
Oh, yes, and he did a great job in, season 2 of House of the Dragon, so I love that for us, the 2024 Powerless Celebration of Black Excellence. Okay, we might gotta look into that awards
Well,
because
Mari, it's one
we
of
love to
those.
give the flowers.
Yeah, but it's one of those UK awards. No disrespect to them. Like listen, if you're from the UK and you listen to this, we don't have no
They don't
issue with
like
the awards in and of itself. It's just that like we've been talking about how the UK actors be coming over here and doing the thing. Okay, they be doing the damn thing. Okay, they put on that American accent and they start
That's
they
good.
start racking up these awards. So I didn't know y'all even had y'all own awards over there because the way y'all be coming and getting ours. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
shout out to
no.
Steve. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Steve. I think we gotta
Yes,
check it out. I do. I want to
yeah,
see who else has been getting honored. Honestly, we probably are gonna come across some like lesser known talent that we don't know here because it's across
mhm,
the pond. But then I'm sure we'll see some of the big faces. But I don't think there's any world where Steve Toussaint will get honored like that here. Like who was thinking about
right,
Corliss in the all the conversations of House of the Dragon, we were showing love to Corliss, but
yeah,
I like that they set aside and said, "Nah, Corliss did the damn thing here with his
he
blonde hair and
did.
everything."
Yeah, yeah, I love that for him, and
Yeah.
I can't wait till that comes back. He's gonna have a really pivotal role in the later
Hmm.
seasons, so hopefully he
Yeah.
gets more love.
Yeah, and if you are new here, you might not know this, but we did cover House of the Dragon season
Yes.
2 here on Recap Kickback. Mari is a House of Dragon expert. Check that out. I will put the link in the show notes to the playlist, but then of course you can always just search our YouTube channel. We have the videos up. We had a guest on. We do a whole dragon breakdown. Check out all our House of the Dragon content if you're late to the party or if you're just watching House of Dragon for the first time. If you're on season 2, we're definitely the place to go. Ain't that right, Mari?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Come
Oh,
on
we even
over to
got
the
into book
Westeros
spoilers.
Kickback. Yep, mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Mari's a book expert too when it comes to that kind of stuff. So check it out and then tune in and then let us know what you think about our content if you haven't already heard it. But I mean, I'm sure y'all have heard it. But if you're new here, check it out. Also coming soon, we have Eddie Murphy, which another staple here on the Kickback. He will be playing George Clinton in a biopic from the Dreamgirls director Bill Condon, according to this article in Variety
Is
by
that a picture?
Kathy Steffen. Uh, what'd you say?
What is that a picture of George Clinton himself, or is that what is this picture I'm looking at?
I believe that's George Clinton's actual that can't be Eddie Murphy and George Clinton makeup, right? Like, so that's
Right.
got to be George Clinton without the beard.
I have
You
never
know,
seen George Clinton without the beard.
that's like young George Clinton. Like now he's like gray hair
Okay.
George Clinton. That's
I
like
have
a younger
never
version, it
seen him
seems.
without okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, we're getting funkadelic soon. I love a good biopic.
That's
Eddie
awesome.
Murphy. Eddie Murphy. I talked to Tyrone,
Dreamgirls.
podcast, a frequent contributor here on Recap Kickback, and he was telling me
Mhm.
Eddie Murphy does his best work when he's playing real people. And I think that is probably like that's probably pretty accurate. Like I think Eddie
Mhm.
Murphy, like is a comedic actor, but he can do serious and he can do biopics. We've seen it in the past. We see even in Dreamgirls, it's not directly a
Dreamgirls.
biopic, but it's very much so much like a dramatized version of that. So I liked it. I liked Eddie Murphy in the past. I'm sure he'll bring whatever star power he has to this role too.
Yeah, exactly. Like I honestly don't know much about George Clinton's life. So, this will be entertaining. Like I'll definitely go and see it. Bill Condon, the Dreamgirls director. Dreamgirls is one of my favorite movies. So,
Movie,
yeah,
yeah.
I'll definitely go and watch this.
Yes, good. Because we gotta we gotta support here, as
We
we tend to
definitely
do
do.
here on Recap Kickback. We're gonna show love every chance we get. Um, but now I want to talk to something that's near and dear to my heart.
Mm.
We get on here and talk about people's legal issues all the time
Mm.
on the Kickback. Mari knows where I'm going with this because it would not be me if we did not talk about it. But recently, Mari and I, and that's the cool thing, y'all, about having a true crime aficionado as a co-host, because I know I can talk about this with Mari. If don't nobody else care, I definitely know that Mari is equally perturbed and confused as to what the hell is going on here. But make no mistake, we have something to celebrate with a big old question mark.
Yeah.
Thugger is free. They said free Thugger until it's backwards, and Mari, it's backwards. Thugger
It
free.
is. He's
Yeah.
out. I mean, honestly, we like kind of talked about this case. This case has been going on for what feels like forever.
Yeah.
Every time I hear something about this case, it's something crazy, something
Shenanigans.
stupid that's the prosecution's doing, or something
Mm-hmm.
like I initially, when it first started, last year, I believe it was the end of last year, I was watching like the courtroom video. I was following I think Jewel Wicker, I believe her name is a great black journalist, an actual journalist who's a court journalist who was in court every day following what was going on, and she was like breaking down everything that was happening. She was our very own Megan the reporter
Yes.
on site, and she's a black woman as well. Also, Megan the reporter, the Bob,
Was also there.
so she was
Miss Bob.
also covering that as well. So I was really following the YSL case like when it first started. Then started hitting the roof, and I was like, what is happening? They almost
Mm-hmm.
had to like change out jurors because jurors faces were actually accidentally shown on the live feed coverage of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then those jurors started people started doxing those jurors and sending them death threats and stuff like that. Like there was somebody who was testifying who said something he wasn't supposed to say, and they're trying to get it the case thrown out so many different times. They had to break up the different co-defendants so many different times. Like it felt like a three-ring circus, this court case. So honestly, when I had like I forgot that it had even had gone to the jury for sentencing and all that, for the verdict and stuff. So
Yeah.
when the verdict came, so he did get he pled guilty. Yeah, it was like a plea
He
deal.
pled guilty. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He
yeah, yeah,
definitely took a plea
because
deal.
which is crazy. After like God damn.
wait, getting a RICO charge and then taking a plea deal and not having to do
After
no more
a
time in jail, it's crazy.
after almost a year, but after almost a year of already being in court,
2
mind
years.
you.
Almost 2 years, Mark.
2 years,
Almost
yes,
2
2 years.
years.
Yeah, you're right, 2 years. Yeah, because okay,
He was indicted in
last year,
2022. Yeah.
2022, yeah. Last year,
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, feels like a blip for me. But yeah,
Imagine how it feels for him.
yeah, exactly. So like that's so much money wasted. But anyways, I'm not
Oh.
the city of Atlanta. So yeah, he pled guilty, it says here, to participating in a criminal street gang activity. So what he got, let's talk about this. He got 40
Yes.
years. He got sentenced to 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
But like commuted to 5, right?
Yes. To
But
time
then the
served.
5 was the time served. So that happens a lot. So you get the 40, they say, okay, out of the 40, we just think you should have to absolutely serve 5 in jail. But
Mind you, he
then
only did 2.
since he had been in jail for 2.5 years, that population overcrowding, prison overcrowding. If you're in good standing after doing at least 50% in most states, if you're in good standing after doing at least 50% of your sentence, they'll let you out. So that's what I'm assuming happened. It also got commuted for time served, good behavior. So from 40 years to 5 years to he did 2.5, and he did get out. Uh, and so I was like, okay, cool. But then he has to be on probation for 15 years.
15
Okay.
years.
15 years probation. And when we'll talk about probation in a second, but let's talk about if he violates that 15-year probation, then he has 20 years backloaded. So
Mm-hmm.
if at any point in that 15 years of probation, he violates probation, he has to go to jail for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this
Sir?
probation, no, this probation we cannot gloss over
Nope,
when
nope,
they
nope.
say
You can't.
probation in a normal sense, you probably think meeting with a probation officer or something, doing drug tests regularly, doing
Mhm.
some community service. He got to do all that
All
and
that
then
plus.
some. They
Yep.
said, you better not show your ass up in Metro Atlanta. He from there. They said you cannot come home. You can never come back. 15 years, you can never come. They said after what? After 10, we might let you come back for funerals.
Was that what he said? I thought they did say he could come back for like family, like weddings.
I think it was after a while. It wasn't immediately. Like it was like
Okay.
yeah, I think it's like you got to get permission, and even then like weddings and funerals after a bit. Like it's not like
Okay.
tomorrow if his homeboy getting married, he ain't going to be there, trust me. Um this is crazy. This is crazy. Not only can you not step foot into your hometown, but you cannot make the music that you used to make. You know, Young Thug's music was laced with part of the reason why he's in the trouble in the first place is his music was riddled with YSL conversations, right?
Yeah,
Being
he
the
can't promote gang activity through his music.
right, meaning he can't talk about his own brand, which is Young Slime Life. He can't say slime, slat, slime life, you know, like all the time. Like he can't do none of that stuff. He can't really make music like he used to make because he can't talk about none of that stuff either. Young Thug
Well,
without drugs, alcohol, and gang activity, what he might need to change his name from Young Thug, start going by Jeff.
yeah. Honestly, though, for me, like, I don't think that's hard. I think he spent 2.5 years in jail. If I'm him and I'm his publicist, I'm telling him to rap about what he saw in jail. I watched 60 Days In.
Mhm.
I would there has to be interesting stuff going on. I saw 60 Days in Fulton County. That was
Yeah,
some of the best TV ever put together ever in life. So if I was him, I would just rap about like being in jail, like
yeah.
because I'm you can't just your observations
Mhm.
about jail. I think they'd let him do that. Yeah, he'll have to be a little bit more mindful with his pen.
I'm more creative.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, he will have to go back to Atlanta 4 times a year to do community service and do like
Anti-gang, anti-gun
anti-gang.
presence.
Yeah.
It's 4 times a
Mhm.
year during
4 times a year.
each year of his probation. So for 15 years, he'll be popping up and also doing 100 hours of community service as well.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, does that count towards the 100 hours?
Yeah,
'Cause damn.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, and no contact with anyone involved or from a criminal street gang. And we've talked about rappers in the past, you and I,
mhm.
and
Yeah.
how a lot of the popular rappers now are tangential to some of the, thug activity, gang activity that we see. Which is why so many of them have been dying from senseless violence, right? Because
Mhm.
they might not be in a gang right now, but a lot of their activities and a lot of their cohort is gang related. That said, this completely severs a lot of ties that Thugger would have with a lot of people in the music industry that he normally would have if he wants to be careful, right? Like, because there are probably people that you could be like, oh, well, they're not really gang related, but would you relate? Like, would you really like risk that? Would you really be like, yeah, I'll kick it with this person? I know they're not in a gang no more, but they used to be. Like, no, you don't want none of that stuff attached to you. So, Young Thug, people were talking about he gonna have to start making music like Will Smith, just like
Yeah, I saw
yeah.
somebody, compare him to Tyreek from Abbott Elementary.
Yeah, Fade. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Honest
I yeah,
so, honestly, I don't think so. Like, to me he did say, "But I gotta work with Gunna." So, he did get,
he got that
the excuse or whatever to
permission.
be able to
Yeah,
yeah, exception. The exception
yeah,
to work with
accepts
Gunna.
yeah.
Yeah. But, like, honestly, I'm of 2 minds with this, right? Because
Okay,
first off, people are like, "Oh, well, he's lucky he's not spending life in jail," which is true.
facts,
He is lucky he's not spending life in jail.
facts.
And so you're saying 15 years, it's 15 years outside or 20 to 40 inside. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? And the problem is that normal people get hit with these type of probations. Like there's an actual conversation to be said about how in Georgia, people will get 10 years probation, 15 years probation for stuff even smaller. Like I had just read an article about this like last year about the unfair practices of probation for like normal people, cuz like people like me and you, normal people, like 10-year probation for us when you might actually be convicted for a felony. That's really hard to stay on the straight and narrow because you have to try and find a job. And
Mm-hmm.
as somebody who needs money and and has a felony on their case, only but certain people might hire you. And those people might hire other felons. Like, so what do? Stuff like that. Like, it's very unfair for quote unquote normal people who aren't isn't rich from stardom and rap and stuff to really uphold a 10 or 15 year probation cycle. And that's just how they get you to stay in the system. I gotta see if I can find that article because it was a really good article about recidivism and
Mm.
probation and how it's like really unfair.
Okay.
But for him, he is of means. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He is
he
of
got
means.
money.
He has money. If I'm him again and I'm his manager, you hire somebody, you give them some new title called the probationary
Task force.
assistant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because you hire them and it is literally their job to check everything that you
To
do.
make sure
You,
you're in compliance with your
exactly.
probation before you release anything. For you post a picture.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything. It is
Yeah.
their
Because.
job, and you listen to them, and you
Mm-hmm.
let them do that because that's the difference between, again, somebody like him with means and like a regular person. It might be hard for a regular person to have to check every day what they are doing, and because that's another thing. Shout out to Pastor Solomon on Twitter who said like, how hard is it not to commit crimes for 15 years? I like his sentiment, but it's not about just committing
It's not
crimes.
about crime. It's not
It's
about
not about
crime.
crime.
Yeah.
It's about not violating probation. And
Right.
when you have strict probationary rules like Georgia has, you anything could be can be violating that probation. So you really have to be up on the law and what you can and cannot do, again, for 15 years. So Jeffrey needs to hire somebody, like you said, a compliance officer,
Uh
probationary
huh.
compliance officer. There you go. You can have that.
Yeah.
And they need to stay up on his every move. Either that or he needs to go sit down with Bobby Schmurder, wherever. Well, not with Bobby Schmurder because they
That would
can't
be
be
real.
together.
Yeah. They can't be
But
together. The smartest thing Young Thug did during this trial was tell the judge immediately out the gate that Thug stands for truly humble under God, because that's the
yep.
only reason he ain't got to change his name. That's the only reason, because otherwise his name would be in violation of probation. Probably, you're 100% right. It's not about him not breaking the law. It's about him not
Mhm.
making a mistake that is so natural to him at this point, right? The people that
Exactly.
he hang out with, the music that he makes, the way he makes his money, all that other stuff. If you remove all the criminal aspects, a part of him is still a gangster rapper, right? Like a part
Right.
of him is still a rapper who raps about, violence. Not it
Yeah.
might be fictionalized violence if you asked him or whatever the court has decided. But
Uh-huh.
at the same time, he can't do that anymore. And it's not to
True.
say that I feel bad for Young Thug. Obviously he pled guilty, so he did whatever they said he did. He pled guilty, so that's him admitting to doing whatever they said he did. However, it is a tight spot to be in. Like
Yeah.
he's not in prison for his whole life, but he's very much handcuffed in the way he makes his livelihood and the way that he expresses himself. So, he has other means, like Mari said. You can definitely hire somebody to keep you in compliance, or you can try different avenues. I think he's very talented. I think Young Thug's very fashionable. That was the one thing that,
Mhm.
like, when he first dropped
Mhm.
out, people were not ready for Young Thug. He was like, "Oh yeah, he dressed feminine." He was doing all that androgynous shit before Harry Styles was, and
True.
the black community was not embracing it the way they were. But he's a thug, so people didn't want to, like, people weren't checking him on it. People were like, let him do what he
Yeah.
gonna do. Anybody else get bullied, Young Thug, you get bullied back. So he could do that. He probably could do some acting or something like that. There's other avenues for sure.
Hire me, Young Thugs team, because you
Yes.
know what I would do? Mariah the Scientist. She dropped everything, a
Mm.
tour to go be
So be with
back
her
with
man.
you. Y'all do a duet, a duet
Yeah.
album together and make that Ja Rule Ashanti music. People love that
Right.
shit. You know what I'm
Well, be with
saying?
my baby. Yeah, he can do
Exactly.
that.
Do that.
Yeah.
You and Mariah. I don't know her, and the songs that I've heard of her, I hate. Oh.
I thought it was wild that she took the day off to go be with Young Thug, but whatever. It wasn't her tour. You know,
Yeah,
the,
she
yeah,
opening.
the
Yeah,
opening act.
which
Yeah,
is
but
sad because as a scientist, I try to support other scientists, but I don't
do you
know if
think she's
she's a
actually a scientist?
scientist.
You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
know. I don't
What
know.
kind of science she? You know when they said, where you preach at? You know, like, what kind of science? What kind of science does she do?
I don't
Oh,
know, but
I
that's what
checked
I would
her.
do.
I checked her Wikipedia.
She got a
Uh,
biology degree.
well, she uh he graduated from high school early and attended college at St. John's University in New York City in hopes of becoming a pediatric anesthesiologist, but she dropped out.
Ooh,
Yeah, she dropped out.
Mariah,
She had to do music.
a pediatric anesthesiologist.
That you would have had money. Well, I guess she
We
still got money,
need yes, that's
but
what I
she
was
would
about to
have
say. You would have had
money.
money, and we need more pediatric anesthesiologists. Girl,
We-
come on.
Mariah, yeah, yeah. So there's that. Also, Mariah do be in her own kind of she got her own legal struggles too, so he might not be able to hang out with her too much longer either. Because I think she got in was it a nightclub fight or something like that? She had to like
Girl,
$5,000 bond she had to really
girl.
post, yeah, and that was this year. So just saying, Mariah Young Thug
Oh
start making
yeah,
some.
she need to wrap that up, so they gonna have to stay 50 feet away from each other.
Yeah, they go
50
make that
yards.
Big Sean and Janae Aiko music that
People love
2088
that.
stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not people. I like
Mm-mm.
I like the
I
music
said
differently.
people.
Yeah,
I
it's
said
not me.
people.
It's not me. But yeah, so big news there. I'm a big Young Thug fan. I am. I
Yeah.
always like his music and stuff like that. But that said, at some point you can't keep living like this. The RICO thing is crazy because most of the time when you get a card, like when they indict you on a RICO, it's because they know they got you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not
Exactly.
something you just throw at anybody.
But to be honest, like, I don't know what the prosecution was doing, like, because that's what I would think. I was like, "Oh, yeah, you got him if you," but I'm watching that thing, I'm like, "What are y'all doing?" Like,
My
that their
theory.
case was not
My
it wasn't
theory
jiving.
is they played Lifestyle, the song, in the courtroom, and the
They
judge
did.
was like, "I can't put this man away. I can't do it. I
They
can't do it."
lost
Because the
they
way that
lost
man was
everybody right
jamming,
there. That was a good
the that
sign.
I was at I was at home like, "Let him cook. Let him cook. Hold on, he's going to something." Um, Mari, the last thing I
Mhm.
want to talk about, and I guess there's a little bit of levity to it, but like we could come at this like the serious finger wagging that we could do. I'm not a big fan of this person anyway, so I don't mind wagging my finger a little bit. DJ Envy did a thing for Halloween.
Oh god.
I won't put an image up of the thing he did for Halloween, but it's very wild. I believe he had both his daughters are dressed up as in Halloween costumes. Uh, One I think was Aaliyah in her costume. I think that's the older daughter, but the younger daughter portrayed Lil Kim in the Crush on You video, where Lil Kim is famously cycling through all her different color outfits / wigs, and people were not happy with DJ Envy and this little girl portraying someone who is historically a sexualized human being, by their own doing, obviously, but also by the industry, and also a grown ass woman who wears clothes that are for grown ass women. And so Mari, I know you saw this.
I did, and like she was in. Everybody was like some people were like, "Y'all gotta chill. It's just like a bathing suit," but that's the. Mm. She
But
was
that
in like the strappy like
Yeah,
thing and
she
the
had the fur
coat and
coat
the.
on. Yeah. It
Oh
to
my
me, it's not
god!
even about the outfit itself. It is the person that you're portraying, right? Like that's like say if she was fully dressed and they were like, she's Pamela Anderson, I'd still be like, is a kid supposed to be dressed like Pamela Anderson? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Like there would be levels to whatever. Like if you said she was Alicia Keys, I'd be like, all right, cool. Because that's not
Yeah,
Alicia Keys' brand. Lil Kim
I
is
see what you're saying.
ill na na make a Sprite can disappear in my mouth. It's like, hey,
True.
my kid shouldn't even know who that is. Not yet. Let her grow up first, and then she can like your kid shouldn't be dressed like Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I'm saying? Like we love her, but at the same
Exactly.
time,
Yeah.
yeah, your freak, like, oh yeah, my 7-year-old is in the big old freak video. Like what are you talking about?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
So
listen to those words. And it's very that. It's like And I'm like, I know that little girl did not say, "Hey, mommy, daddy, I want to be Lil Kim
And
in a
if she
crush on
did,
you"
then why?
video.
That's a parenting issue, because why would she want to be Lil Kim in like? Why does she know about the crush on you video?
Exactly. Like I don't know how old she was. I think she was like 8 or 9. But still, like, it was just inappropriate, and then to put the video on social media, it's just like, I really need parents to be um, like, a little bit. I know you wanna celebrate, like, your kids and stuff like that, but, like, just like for me, I barely ever put my kids on my, social media, at least Twitter. And
Mhm,
I put them on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. But it's like I always am thinking before I post. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Because yes, you put it out there with good intent, but there are not people with good intent on the internet. So
mhm,
like putting up a video of your daughter half naked with fur coat on, singing about sl- mm, mm, singing about like she's singing Lil Kim's verse on "Crush on You." Like we're
mhm.
talking about getting weed and having sex, like,
Yeah,
and then there's thousands of bookmarks on that tweet. And it's like, what do you think those bookmarks are for? Like,
she's
it's
a
just,
slut. He's a hoe. He's a freak. Got a different girl every day in a week. Like what? What we doing here? The child.
it just doesn't make sense. Like, and DJ Envy ain't he got like two brain cells to rub together anyways. It's just
Yeah.
like, come on, y'all. Let's do better. Like,
Let's do
let's do
better.
better.
Let's try
Please.
discernment, folks. Discernment. Let's
There,
just like,
there it is. That's the
yeah,
word.
let's do some discernment, some discretion. Just like, come on, folks. We don't have to do this. Halloween is a good time. We saw a lot
It's
of great
it's
Halloween
fun.
costumes.
Yes.
A lot of celebrities doing it the big way.
Love it.
Sierra always showing out. You know what
Oh,
I'm
yes.
saying? So some people just know
Heidi
how to do
Klum.
it. Yeah, some people just know how to do Halloween, but like,
Yeah.
just be aware that the internet, we can see you. The internet can see you,
Yeah.
and
And
everybody
stay
does not have your
forever.
kids' best interest. And just think about the messages we're giving kids, because again, it's up to the parents, right? Like, I will never admonish Lil Kim for being Lil Kim or Megan Thee Stallion for being Megan Thee
Exactly.
Stallion. But if your kids are idolizing them because your kids have access to them, that's a you issue. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Even Cardi B don't play her music around her daughter, like,
right. And she know
'cause
her
she
music should
knows.
not be played around no damn kids. And so,
It
yeah,
doesn't it doesn't mean the music is bad, it means it's inappropriate for
it's
kids. Like,
inappropriate.
what are we
Yeah.
doing here?
Whatever, shenanigans ensued. And yeah, that was our week in Black news. Mario, I feel like we could have gone
So
longer.
much,
That there was much more, like, just
so
going on,
much.
just little things here and there that I thought, like, man, we gotta talk about this stuff. um Anything else we missed? Anything you want to flag before we get into, I mean, spooky season is gone, but now we're in like the officially in the fall season.
The Chris Brown documentary, dropped as well, like,
Oh, it did.
yeah, it did, called, like, Monster, some monster, I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, so I plan to watch it and I'll report back.
Mm,
But I know that was causing a little bit of commotion on the interwebs as well.
yeah.
Somebody, people are like, "Wow, why are they doing it? It's not surviving Chris Brown. He's not even that bad." Meanwhile, somebody else was like, they did the Rihanna stuff and all that, 9 minutes in. It's almost a 2-hour
Out the gate.
documentary.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get that the headline out the gate, and then we'll catch y'all up on all the stuff you might have missed. The ID channel
But
coming for you next.
exactly, that's exactly, like, I think it's like Chris Brown: A History of Violence or something like that, if I remember correctly. I gotta go back and look at the title, but it's like, it's what I've been saying on this mic before. It's like, this is not it wasn't that one incident. It's a concurring thing. Like, his entourage just got into a fight 3 months ago. Like that,
Yeah.
they were trying to figure out if he was like involved in it or not. So it's just like,
Mm,
yeah. So
yeah.
I'll watch that and I'll let y'all know how that goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Mari's gonna go do some recon on that. We're gonna bring you Black, what is it, Beauty in Black,
Yes,
next week. Our full recap of that series. So if you haven't checked it
so
out,
fun.
you have the week. We will be back next week to talk about that. Like I said,
We're gonna talk
Isaiah,
about all the shenanigans. So please go watch it, y'all, and then
it
we're
is
gonna
some
talk about it.
shenanigans. Like, my notes is just quotes from the movie. You know what I'm
I know
saying?
mine too.
She told that woman she should have punched her in the pussy, Mari, and I was like, "Should I say can I say that?" Like, I would
She
punch her in the pussy.
said she said, "You smell like Jim Crow."
She said, "You smell like Jim Crow."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's
I was
racist."
like, "That's wild."
Right, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
wild.
Yeah, and I think that's episode 5. So, and it's an
Yeah.
8-episode series. So, just go and catch up with us and then catch us here. Isaiah will be here to talk about the um Tyler Creator album. Also, I think Starting 5 on Netflix is something that has been flagged on my and brought to my attention. So we're gonna do that potentially. We got Abbott Elementary coverage coming every other week with me and Gia. We got The Walking Dead. It's wrapped up. It's officially done. The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 2 is over. We talked about the finale here on Recap Kickback with me, AJ Mass, and Jessica Lee. So check that out too. Make sure you subscribe. So when The Walking Dead comes back, you'll catch all of that and more. You can catch all our past podcasts on our website, recapkickback.com, or you can check out our videos on YouTube, youtube.com/@recapkickback. Got some content coming for Sasha in the future as well. Tyrone's coming back. So much more coming your way here on Recap Kickback, but only if you subscribe to the podcast. Recapkickback.com/subscribe. Check us out. Follow us on all social media platforms at Recap Kickback. Mari, what you got going on in your world?
Just go over to Crime Scene Pod, at Crime Scene Pod, wherever you get your social medias. You can go to crimescenepodcast.com to subscribe. Me and Sarah are having a lot of fun over there reviewing lots of true crime documentaries. So if you enjoyed the quickest take on the Megan Thee Stallion documentary, then go check me out over on the Crime Scene Podcast. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Mari Talks Too Much. That's 2 like the number 2. Yeah.
And then check me out. I'm here. Recap Kickback is where I'm doing my thing mostly. You can catch me on RHAP as well. I think I got some scripted things going on RHAP scripted. But RHAP is where you can catch me talking about all my hottest reality TV takes when I'm not here on Recap Kickback. Talking about all the shenanigans with Mari and the crew here. So check us out. Make sure you subscribe, all that good stuff, and make sure you tune in next week because you ain't got to go home. But our time here is up. We'll catch you all on the next Recap Kickback for Beauty and Black next time. Bye.
I've been trapped behind this wall, Maria. Isolated like it's North Korea. Smaller city with some bigger dreamers. The wall is cracked, I'm looking in between it. The world is yours, but man, I gotta see it. They say it's hard, but man, I gotta see it. The air I'm breathing can't feel my chest. Wait on life, I wanna hold my breath. I'ma get in my goddamn self.